Hey everyone, welcome back to the Poplar Report. We got some very important information that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be looking at some maps. We're going to be looking at a whole bunch of stuff, particularly looking at the United States potential invasion for Venezuela. I'm going to lay out the case for what I see happening in the coming weeks and what I believe is being set up right now. And you guys let me know down in the comments, Steve, are you crazy? Or, Steve, are you making a whole lot of sense? Now, we want to start off, of course, with where's this all kind of coming from? Where did I start getting the crazy idea that we could be looking at invading Venezuela? Now, of course, we've been staging a lot of ships off the coast there. We're going to start talking about the Iwo Jima, the San Antonio, the Fort Lauderdale. We'll talk about USS Lake Erie. We'll talk about the USS Stockdale, the Jason Dunham, and the Gravely, all basically sitting off the coast of Venezuela for some unforeseen and unspecified reason. Now, the biggest thing is in the last number of days, we had a massive meeting of over 700 general officers of the U.S. military, basically all the generals and all of the admirals of the fleets all the way around the world. Now, we're being told that they were basically coming together in order to have a pep talk. And it sure seems like it wasn't just for a pep talk, because that doesn't really make all that much sense. That could have been an email, that could have been a video, but it does look like it was used as an opportunity to gather together many officers, many generals and admirals together, potentially for some war planning on the side in person, meant to not raise eyebrows. We don't know what they were planning, what they were doing, but I'm going to lay out the case that I think that they were laying the groundwork and laying the invasion plans for Venezuela. And I think we're going to see those unfolding in the next coming days. But before we go into that any further, I do want to thank our sponsor, BlockTrust IRA. Now, cryptocurrency has revolutionized the financial space. Banks are getting cut out of the money transfers and payment processing, and they are really mad about that. And those who are already invested in cryptocurrencies and those who are looking into it now have a new option. This can limit your risk and maximize your opportunity. BlockTrust IRA, a partnership with Jonathan Rose and some others, and Animus AI. So yes, they use artificial intelligence to trade your cryptocurrencies and get in and out of the market so that you can limit your risk. It's a revolutionary hedge fund data and automated trading to your private crypto wallet. If you want to find out more about that, you can find that down in the description down below and also the pinned comment down below, and there'll be a link at the end of the video. You'll come to here and you can fill out your information and get some more information from them and do your due diligence with them. All right, friends, thanks so much for watching that spot. Let's get into Venezuela, shall we? Because this is really the situation. As you can see, Venezuela is there. Guyana, you can see this little dotted line right here. That's Esquiba, or however you pronounce that. Basically, this is disputed territory that Venezuela says is theirs, and mostly it's because there's a bunch of oil right off the coast here in Guyana's their water. Right, the United States oil companies are exploiting that, and Guyana is very, very happy about that. Venezuela is like, hey, that should be our oil. So Venezuela's like, this is ours, and we're just going to come in and take it. And the international community is like, no, you can't do that. This is all like real jungle here. There isn't like roads going across this border here. So they're building up their military forces over here. The United States does not have a major presence in Guyana. And in fact, Venezuela has warned them not to do anything. But when you look over here at Colombia and the United States are not having a great experience right now. The president of Colombia just got kicked out of the United States for protesting and asking American troops to overthrow and to commit treason, essentially. He was doing that in New York City, and he got his visa canceled. Panama has some military forces on either side of the canal, but Panama is really limiting the ability of U.S. forces to deploy there. We're not allowed to have like major military bases, and Central America, by and large, doesn't really have U.S. military bases. We're not trying to project power into that area, or haven't recently. Cuba's got Guantanamo Bay. This is a major military base for the United States. We do have a major air base there. That is our main military base in the Caribbean. We do have Puerto Rico, but Puerto Rico's military bases have been shut down for a bit. So if we're looking at the invasion of Venezuela here, we would be coming from Puerto Rico and Guantanamo Bay. Those are the most direct routes. We're going to obviously need a bunch of naval assets. So let's start off there. Where are the United States aircraft carriers? Nuclear-powered aircraft carriers are the big deals. And then we have some smaller flat tops, right? Okay, first off, we have, as you can see here, this is a fleet tracker. This is open source, of course. I'm not using any sort of, I don't have any hidden information being leaked to me or anything like that. Anyway, the Iwo Jima, this is a flat top. It's a conventionally powered, not aircraft carrier. It's a helicopter carrier is what we would often call it. It does have Harrier jump jets. It does fly Ospreys off of it. If you see that, that's not all that much, but the Ford nuclear power carrier is up in Europe. It's doing European stuff, threatening Russia and stuff like that. USS America is not a nuclear powered carrier. So basically, at first, it looks like we don't have anything over here, but you got to remember that Venezuela is fairly close to the United States. So as we look here, we see that Norfolk is not all that far away. If we have aircraft carriers parked in Norfolk that are ready to go, well, they could get there relatively quickly without anyone noticing. And once they pull out of here, they can zoom down here and provide monster power very, very quickly. So what do we have sitting in Norfolk? We'll get to the Iwo Jima. Basically, what we have sitting in Norfolk right now is we got the USS Roosevelt, nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, and we got the USS George H.W. Bush. We got two nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. Both of them are ready to go. Roosevelt is ready to go, and on August 18th, George H.W. Bush did a readiness exercise off the coast too. Both of them, just in the last 2 months, have demonstrated their ability to deploy, and they're just kind of sitting there. And with all the threats going on in the world, you kind of got to ask yourself why they're sitting there. Two nuclear-powered aircraft carriers moving down here very quickly could provide the final piece of the puzzle. They can bring some escort ships down here, but like I've already said, we already have a Aegis cruiser, the USS Lake Erie, passed through the Panama Canal and is operating somewhere in the Caribbean. We also have the USS Stockdale, a destroyer, Aegis destroyer. We got the USS Jason Dunham and the USS Gravely. Those are operating in this area as we speak. Now, in addition to that, we have the USS Minneapolis St. Paul. We also have the Iwo Jima, the San Antonio, and the Fort Lauderdale. So you can start to see that we have a few ships down there. let's skip ahead here to boom. We got some descriptors here of had them somewhere. There we go. Here's the Iwo Jima. As you can see, it is a helicopter carrier, not a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. Mostly helicopters and can carry Harrier jump jets as well as Ospreys. Now, we'll talk about kind of what I think we may be up to here, but let's look at what else we have in theater. The Iwo Jima is kind of like the flagship of this battle group. It is the amphibious ready group. Has 4,500 sailors and Marines and has over 2,000 Marines ready to deploy. We have the Freedom class littoral combat ship. This is the we're looking at, I believe that's the San Antonio. Nope, that's the USS Minneapolis St. Paul. Okay, it is a Freedom class. It's got a helicopter pad, and it's also got the capability of landing Marines out the back. So you can take hovercraft and stuff out the back. It's made to land ships. And as you'll see here, the Minneapolis St. Paul is right there, LCS 21. Not only that, but we also have two San Antonio class ships. We got the this is a picture of the San Antonio and the New York, but right now we have the San Antonio and the Fort Lauderdale operating down there, and we have these ships prepared that have Marines on board as well as Marine landing craft to deploy through helicopters and also through their amphibious landing craft. So, as you can see here, we have four amphibious assault ships in this region, right here, plus at least 3 destroyers and an Aegis cruiser and the Iwo Jima. Well, the Iwo Jima is one of the landing craft, right? So we got quite a bit of firepower there. Now, we're being told that they're there for one express purpose, which is blowing up some speedboats. Okay, that is major overkill. We just put 10 stealth fighter aircraft down at the newly commissioned, recently recommissioned Roosevelt Roads. This is the Jose Aponte del Toro Airport, which now has a contingent of stealth fighter jets. And who knows what else there, because we were seeing that they got a whole bunch of activity there. We got Venezuela super upset about us deploying assets there. Venezuela warning Guyana not to take U.S. troops, and Trinidad not to take U.S. troops. But the really reactivated Roosevelt Roads now has 10 F-35 fighters and several warships. Now, we already talked about the warships that are in the area. Long before the F-35s arrived, cargo planes such as the C-5 Galaxy and C-17 Globemaster have already been spotted near the facilities. So basically, we've moved a whole bunch of hardware in, reactivated the Roosevelt Roads naval base here. We got some naval capabilities here. Let's switch over to satellite. Obviously, these are old satellite photos from Google, but these are docks that can be used to bring in ships. Those are a little bit crumbly and old, but some of these docks, not sure which ones exactly they want to use. And then we got another dock right there. I believe that's used. This is used for ferries, civilian ferries, but those have naval capabilities. We have U.S. Navy ships pulling into here. That's the report. We got the Iwo Jima pulled up, doc. I don't have pictures of that, but this was a major naval base before. So we got piers and capabilities for warships to pull up, refuel, rearm, that kind of thing. And we had a bunch of cargo aircraft there recently. So what are they up to? Are they just there to do counter narcotics? Quite possibly. That's what we're being told. But I believe what we're seeing there is activity that is aimed at launching a amphibious assault on Venezuela. Now, there is possibility that they are there to put pressure on Venezuela as we deploy troops to Guyana. Now, we may be inserting a whole bunch of troops into Guyana, and that might be what the Marines are there for on the ships, is they're going to do amphibious landing into Guyana, put a major military presence in Guyana, and that puts some serious pressure on Venezuela from that side to keep Venezuela from misbehaving. However, let's see why in the world I'm thinking that we may be having an invasion here. So we've had a proposed invasion of Venezuela in 2017 during Trump's first presidency. Trump said that he was not going to rule out military options to address the worsening crisis in Venezuela and the autocratic government of Nicolas Maduro. Now, I know it's Wikipedia, so it's a little bit biased here, but basically, we've seen in other places that the Trump administration seriously considered an invasion of Venezuela before in the first presidency. Now, one of the people that's been pushing for a major invasion of Venezuela since the very beginning has been then Senator Marco Rubio, who happens to be the Secretary of State now. He has been pushing for invasion of Venezuela. So now with Rubio in the inner circle, we now see significant pressure being put on Venezuela. And suddenly we have this massive call up of military generals and admirals for some sort of potentially secret meeting. Now, in order to launch an invasion of Venezuela, you would need to have all these generals and admirals in person to plan things, because there just aren't enough assets here right now to do this. We would need airborne troops. We would need the generals of the airborne units. We would need rapid deployable Marines from, basically the South. We would need them to rapidly deploy to Cuba, to Guantanamo Bay. We can do that relatively quickly and quietly. We can fly them in. We may get a little bit of an alert that that's happening, but Cuba may notice it. But the United States owns that. No reporters are allowed near Guantanamo Bay. It's a major airstrip. We can land C-17s in Guantanamo Bay. It's an 8,000 meter, I believe, or 8,000 foot runway. Roosevelt Roads has an even longer runway. It's more capable than even get lost in Puerto Rico. I'm in the wrong country. Here we go. Back to Puerto Rico, not you got Dominican Republic over there. Anyway, Roosevelt Roads has a major airstrip and can be used to bring in some big aircraft. We can land Marines. We can land everything in there. Now, it's a pretty far ride from Puerto Rico all the way down to Venezuela. How far exactly? Well, according to the internets, which sometimes can be trusted, we're looking at 478 nautical miles from Puerto Rico to Caracas. We got Blackhawks. If you can see here from Lockheed Martin, they say the minimum range there is 268 nautical miles. So basically, they need to refuel somewhere off the coast here if you want to fly Blackhawk from Puerto Rico to Caracas, you need to land somewhere out here, refuel, and then you can continue on. So we can load up troops here, fly them to landing ships here. They can then fly into Caracas. They're going to have to refuel there too to come back. But you can see that this is quite possible. Now, that's what Lockheed Martin says is their minimum range, maximum range. Well, that's what they're saying. They can carry fuel tanks. When you start looking at other people here, you see 1,300-mile range. That's probably more closer to the military specs as opposed to what the publicly acknowledged specs of the Blackhawks are. So we can go pretty far with them, but they probably do need to refuel. Blackhawks can't just go in. Airborne troops can do a little bit, but you really don't want to just, drop parachutists out of the plane without having support. Now, Marines hitting the beaches at the same time as airborne units landing in places around there, that can make sense as long as you have air supremacy, making sure that you're suppressing all their air defenses. We're going to need some nuclear-powered aircraft carriers off the coast to launch the fighters that are going to suppress air defenses to do that. But it looks like that is quite the possibility. We could also fly aircraft into Guyana to land troops there, but they can't really move in from the east into Venezuela very easily because there just aren't roads that go across the border. They basically have to walk across the border, and that's just not really a good idea. So hovercraft, landing craft, smaller ferries, and of course the amphibious landing ships that they have. All right, friends, I've kind of thrown a whole bunch of stuff at you. There is more, of course, along the lines, but all that to say, we've got the assets in place. We seem to be planning something big. Politically, there seems to be a lot of support to going into Venezuela from within this administration. And Venezuela is very, very worried about this. They're very worried that there could very well be an invasion into Venezuela. Monroe Doctrine says that the Western Hemisphere belongs to the United States, and the United States, if we don't like somebody doing something there, and Venezuela is basically showing itself to be an ally of China and Russia. They're letting Russian warships land, dock there and refuel. They're letting Chinese warships pull up, and the United States really doesn't like that. So that's my case of why I think that the United States very well may be planning an invasion of Venezuela or threatening a real invasion of Venezuela. What we'd see next would be any more Navy ships moving into the area, and I will be very closely watching the USS Roosevelt in Newport, and also we'll be looking very closely at the George H.W. Bush aircraft carriers. Those aircraft carriers, if they go out of port and they go somewhere else, then that's something. But if they're sitting in port ready to go, what are they waiting for? What could they potentially be getting ready to load up? Because when they come out of port, they're going to be coming out of port with destroyers, with Navy submarines. We don't know what kind of submarines we got operating off the coast there, but we can probably suspect that we have special operations capable submarines. We have probably an Ohio ballistic missile submarine that has Tomahawk capabilities. That's probable. And of course, aircraft long-range bombers can leave the United States and can hit Venezuela directly. So refuelers can come out of Guantanamo Bay, but we can also put up refuelers out of Florida and refuelers from southern United States to refuel those bombers as they go in. All right, friends, let me know what you guys think about all that. I will leave it up to you guys in the comments to let me know. I'm not seeing anyone putting this together exactly, but that's what it kind of looks like to me. All right, friends, thanks so much for joining with us. If you want to get some more information from BlockTrust IRA about what you can do with cryptocurrencies, whether you're in cryptocurrencies already or whether you're looking to get into them with a portion or all of your IRA or your 401k. If you want to if you just want to trade Bitcoin or Ethereum or one of these other cryptocurrencies, they can talk to you about how they have their AI trading platform. All right, friends, thanks so much. There, you can just click right there on the screen, fill out your information. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.